bare-knuckle boxers, gangsters, drug dealers. I mean, you wouldn't want to stay around theirs, would you? Well, guess what? I got an invite. I'm moving in with some of the country's most dangerous men, so we can find out how they sleep at night. And judging by this mob, there's gonna be tears before bedtime.
Britain is pissed and it's staggering about looking for a fight. Every weekend in town centres up and down the country, the streets are filled with drunks looking for trouble. And where can you see a lot of this binge drinking carnage? In Blackpool, on some of the northwest's toughest streets. I'm on my way there to spend a couple of days with a man on the front line on the war on binge. Not a copper, a bouncer. His name is Steve Sinclair, aka the Blackpool Rock. He's been done for GBH. He's been arrested for armed robbery. He's been arrested for contract killings, but none of it's ever stuck.
I've been shot at. I've got stab wounds, you know. I've had bricks thrown at me, bottles smashed on my head and in my face. I've been arrested for GBH with intent, firearms charges, bank robbery, even looked at for murders.
Turning the wrong way. I've never met a more fearless man.
A man with a love of fighting, Steve is dedicated to protecting the doors. In Blackpool, that can be a dangerous job. Now, I've never been before, but I know how rough it can get on a night out. What makes someone do it? What makes a man stand there and be a target for a group of drunken lads on a night out? You know, it's a dangerous game. I'm going to be living and breathing the life of one of Blackpool's most notorious faces, and to really get an idea of what it's like to be in his shoes, I'm going to be working the doors with him. Not acting, certainly not for fun, for real. You would think once you've seen one doorman, you've seen them all, really, you know. We've all come across doormen in our time. We've all had some sort of spat with a doorman, so, you know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of doormen, that's all. I'm hoping this kid's gonna have something else about him. But like I said, you never fucking know. We're meeting on the Golden Mile. It's very different to what I was expecting. It's quiet and a little unnerving. Maybe everyone's still in bed. It's always weird, these seaside towns as well, when it's off-season, you know, when it's just the calm before the storm, I suppose, because there's nothing worse than fairground rides and candy floss machines. And no one's here. No one's on them. It's just depressing. I mean, even the seagulls look like they've got a fucking hump. Got to be a minute, it's a Range Rover in Blackpool. Can't be many of them about. Steve.
Hiya, mate, how are you? Danny?
Very well, sunshine.
Nice to meet you, son.
Pleasure to meet you, mate. Thank you for talking to me.
How are you?
Listen, so Blackpool.
Yes.
Never been before.
Right.
I've heard it's a bit of a rough town when it wants to be.
Yeah,
True.
It can be, yeah, very much so.
Look, listen, I'm in your hands. I'll run around with you for a couple of days, try and get a taste of your life.
No worries.
How do you feel about me going on the door? Do you think I got the presents for it? What are you reckon?
Yeah.
Hey? He doesn't seem convinced. I'm sure you're going to look after me, yeah? You want to take me on a little mission then?
Tomorrow, I'll put you on the job. I've got a stab-proof vest for you and everything.
Stab-proof vest, okay.
You can be all right with that.
Well, no,
It can be a bit tricky, so.
Right, well, I'm in your hands, you know. The last thing I want to do is get stabbed. I want to make a nice
You've got
show.
a vest on, you won't, will you?
No, okay, no, sweet as. I'm sweet, let's go, let's do it.
All right, Paul.
Steve's been working the doors for 30 years in a town that takes no prisoners.
What might make you the better man is you might be able to take it a bit more than they can.
For a big man, very fast. And got a hell of a punch.
Boxing is his first love and he'll take on anyone. He once fought boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard. This guy is a force to be reckoned with.
When he wants to go, there's not a man that I'd put against him.
He's a man with a reputation for never backing down and a taste for revenge.
If it kicked off at the club big style, and if any of my lads got hurt, I'd be out in the car going around to their house waiting at 6 o'clock in the morning, knocking on the door. Surprise.
Blackpool is now the unofficial capital of booze Britain. 50 years ago, it was the destination of choice for the fashionable and the wealthy. Today, things are very different. Blackpool's A&E department is the busiest in the country. Personal assaults occur here at twice the UK average. During the summer, there's an influx of young people, some of whom come looking for trouble. To understand Steve's world, he's taking me on the door in a couple of nights' time. I want to know what makes this town in particular so dangerous. Tell me a little bit about, the doors here. Are they pretty dangerous here?
You've got to remember, we get people from all over the country coming here.
Yeah.
They're having the weekends, they're having the stag parties,
Yeah.
the trips, whatever. And they come from London, Liverpool, Manchester. And obviously, a lot of the times they think, oh, big I am.
I suppose just the cocaine in it and
The cocaine now, which is one of the main things that people use. Obviously, people get the cocaine rage. Then there's steroids as well.
Get a bit
All
brave,
the
don't
young
they?
kids are wearing using steroids.
Are they?
Yeah. I mean, you see them pumped up. All you have to do is look at them. And if they're using cocaine, they're drinking alcohol, taking steroids. They're dangerous.
I don't like the sound of what's ahead of me, but Steve seems like a confident man. I'm just not sure if behind this softly spoken exterior is a friendly old guy or a man with a dark past. I guess I got a couple of days to find out. I'm in Blackpool, the capital of booze Britain, with Steve Sinclair, one of Britain's toughest bouncers. I'm living with him for the next few days to try and get under his skin. I know that Blackpool likes a drunken tear-up, and Steve's told me that the young people here are not only pissed, but also on a cocktail of drugs.
If they're using cocaine, they're drinking alcohol, taking steroids. They're dangerous.
Steve's taking me to town so I can get to know him better. The first thing I want to find out from him is what it takes to be a modern doorman. From what he tells me, it's clear that Steve likes to get involved in more than just door work.
A few years ago, we had trouble with Middleton lot from Manchester.
Middleton is one of the most deprived areas in Manchester, where drug dealing and organised crime is a major problem. And Blackpool is a hub for the gangs from the northwest to come and do business.
You're talking 60 to 100, crew.
All up for it.
Yeah, all carrying knives, machetes, things like that.
Yeah.
One of my pals, Sharpie, he gave one of them a slap, stopped them dealing in the club. And the next weekend, they all turned up, didn't they? So.
Oh, okay.
They ended up, they turned up for Sharpie, but we ended up tooling up ourselves, but with good shooters, to back them off.
I thought being a doorman was all about checking IDs and kicking out drunks. What Steve's talking about sounds like armed turf war.
For me, it sounds like it's just like a nightmare. It's just the idea of people knowing where you are. People that want to cause trouble, people you might have a bit of trouble with, know exactly where you're going to be every night on the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can always come back and find you. Is your mentality as a doorman, is it clump them, give them a clump first, or is that the last option for you?
I always liked going in against odds.
Oh, really?
You
like going up against 5-10 people?
Yeah, you feel better, yeah.
I take some bollocks to want to go up against 10 geezers, It's like, if you're thinking in your mentality, you're only going to come out a winner because you're game enough.
They get in each other's way, Denny. If you're literally...
If you could pick them off one by one, you've got to be composed though in that.
You put me and you in a group of 10 of them now, we could stand back to back.
Yeah.
And they've got to come at us.
Yeah, one at a time.
And you know that if you're banging, you're hitting them. But they can be hitting each other, kicking each other's legs, each other's ways.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's about composure, I suppose, isn't it? And not having that element of fear.
I'm agreeing with him, but if it come on top, I'd probably have it on my toes.
I'll never back away from confrontation, even if I'm well outnumbered. It's a pride thing that I'd rather get a good hiding.
Steve's fearless attitude has meant that he'll take on anyone, whatever the odds, even if they're tooled up. So it's no surprise that he's had the odd close call. One night on the door, he took on 20 boys from Preston, a fight that almost sent him to an early grave.
I've got here and I've just started feeling all weak and dizzy. And I've looked down and my leg was red. So when I pulled my jacket back, it's from there, and that's...
Let's have a look.
You see the puncture wound?
So it was just, you can't really remember, but it was just obviously a little slippery bump.
Never felt it, never even felt it. Got to the hospital, there's a queue. So I'm stood in the queue like that. I've got my elbow tucked in, holding it, and waited 5-10 minutes. I've got to the front, and then she said, "What's the problem?" I said, "I've been stabbed." She said, "Where?" So I've gone like that, and blood spurted out onto her desk, and she started screaming. Anyway, they reckon I'd lost about 3 to 4 pints.
Okay, what's your initial reaction to that? Is it anger, or is it a bit like, right, I've had a let off, because it could have been a lot worse? But you can't wait to get back out on the door. Is that what it is?
No, 2 weeks later, I was in hospital for 9 days. 2 weeks later, I was back on the door.
You couldn't wait to get back on the door, yeah?
You have to prove something to yourself.
Steve tells some scary stories, but he seems like a nice bloke. He even looks a bit cuddly. I guess appearances can be deceptive.
I really do feel that you could think that you could get one over on him, and I think that would be a big mistake. That's just from my initial reaction. And I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot more about him, and I'm sure there is a bit of a vicious side to him. But initial reaction's a bit of a shock, really. It's sort of like your dad way about him, but a bit of a naughty dad.
Steve comes from a criminal background. His dad was a crook, and his mum didn't want him following in his father's footsteps.
Well, I was born in just outside Manchester, Ashton-under-Lyne. My dad was in jail for a lot because he was, like ex-villain. Well, he was a villain, in Manchester. And my mother turned around and said, "If you go back in jail," I said, "We're finished." So they wanted a fresh start, and they moved to Portsmouth.
It wasn't long before Steve was attracted to the football terraces of Portsmouth FC, but he wasn't there to watch the game.
I mean, it's something that never interested me, actually, football, But I got him a group of lads, my pals, and we'd go to the match and it'd kick off. And at the end of the match, I still wouldn't know who'd won.
They were the Emsworth boys, and Steve was gaining a reputation as a fearless fighter. He started to get grief from the old Bill, so began boxing to channel his energy.
Started looking at boxing because I was getting in trouble in street fighting, and my dad turned around to me and he said, "You're either going to end up in trouble, banged up," because that's what he'd done in his past. So he talked me into it.
With little work around the south coast, Steve ended up joining the crew of the QE2 as a waiter, where he travelled the world, honing his fighting skills below deck. When he returned, he moved to Blackpool, where he was an outsider and began to make a name for himself.
I started working doors to obviously make friends, get to know people a bit easier. A few incidents happened, the police came, and I'd get arrested, get off, get out, and that's how it started.
It doesn't matter who or how many there are, you'd rather go to the floor and be battered than back down.
We're off to Steve's local to meet a couple of his mates where I want to find out more about him. But as we head over there, we get word that there's been some trouble.
The pubs have just actually been turned over by a load of armed police. So obviously nothing to do with us, so we're all right there.
Well, thank fuck for that.
They were looking for somebody else who drinks in there, and he's not there, so they've gone.
All right, okay.
Unless they're after your autograph, of course, but we'll see.
I'd rather they nick me, to be honest with you, than giving old Bill autographs.
Armed police looking for a regular, lovely. Christ knows what this place is going to be like.
What What do you want?
I'd like, do you know what? I'd like a nice, I think I'll have a nice pint of lager.
Sit yourself down.
Break the mould a little bit, you know what I mean? Try something a bit different. If Steve sorts me out a drink, I'll try and get settled in. I'm all right, I've got the pool cue there, in case it comes on top. I'm joking, why am I even saying that? If it goes off, I'm out the door, mate. It's always weird, this, when you're walking with a boozer. Camera in my boat. You know, I'm making a film, you know what I mean? It's always like, I always feel a bit like uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, pal.
Thank you very much, Steve. Lovely job.
Cheers, mate. All the best. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Steve's very accommodating, but I'm feeling a bit out of my depth here. What, you any good at the old... While we wait for his mates to arrive, he challenges me to a game of pool. Right. I don't know whether to take it easy on him, you know? I don't want to whip his arse, it's a bit embarrassing. I'm never going to beat Steve in a fight, but I reckon I can have him at pool. I feel like every eye in the pub is on me. I think the word's out that I'm in town, and it's putting me off my game. Typical banter. He won't let it slide. Bollocks. Well, I shoot off anyway. I had a good day. It's been a lovely day, Steve. Mine, there you go, yeah? See you later. We've been having a laugh for the last half hour. But when Steve's mates arrive, the mood turns serious. Pleasure to meet you, boys. Thanks for coming over to see me. Paul, the man on my right, told me how he got into a load of trouble when a punter pulled a knife on him.
Put his hand in his pocket, took his glasses off, so he couldn't give a fucking throw. So I hit him and he died.
Really? It was a one punch, that was it?
One punch.
Totally. Oh, okay.
It's easy, I regret it, I think about it every day.
No, of course, I can imagine. But just it seems that one punch just absolutely ironed him out, yeah.
It's one of them things that happen to all of us. We've all had it. We've all had people on life support machines. And it's not a case of using too much force.
Oh, what you mean, just from people that you've hit?
Yeah, but all it is like you bang the guy, he could have thrown 4 or 5 shots at you. And you moved away, boom, down, he's banged his head, he's dead.
I said earlier that you could easily underestimate this man, and I think I just have. These guys speak about hurting people like they're talking about the weather. It's disturbing, but what I'm about to hear really worries me.
The police actually came and gave me a written death threat about 6 weeks ago. Saved my life with it.
Because when the police get there, they've got to tell you,
No, but they've come and given me in writing. But they said, the threat is imminent. And they said, can we do anything to help you? And I said, well, yeah. I said, tell me who's fucking give you the... Oh, no, we can't do that. So if they told me who'd give me the death threat, I could sort it out myself.
Well, so they know who it is, but they're just saying, right, well, basically, you got a death threat. Apparently it's imminent. See you later. Well, there you go.
They're bringing it up to like rubbing your wound.
They're trying to get you to do something. They're trying to get me to go over and do somebody to nick me. But if we pull the wrong people, we get somebody who's we get nicked.
Steve's obviously hurt a few people. They want revenge. And it's making me worry about staying at his tonight. I'm happy to do a few pictures and autographs, but behind the smiles, I'm concerned. I'm a bit freaked out by the idea of me sleeping around his house, right? And he's telling me he's got a death threat and it's imminent. So, you know, it's made me a bit paranoid. I don't know whether I want to stay around his house or not. I've got to think about myself. I've got to think about the fact that I've got 2 kids, you know what I mean? Do I want to be putting myself in that situation? You know, the other thing I've got to worry about, obviously, is, you know, I don't want to upset the geezer, you know, and the fact that he's inviting me around his house, he's going to let me stay, but, if, you know, for me to go, no, I don't want to stay, it's just something I'm going to have to deal with later on, you know? But, you know, other than that, I think he's a lovely geezer, but fucking death threats, you know what I mean? I don't need it. Death threats aside, I'm keen to get to Steve's house and meet the family. I just hope they're not as intimidating as the guys I met in the pub.
This is my humble abode, so...
Nice little plot. It's a nice area though, because it's interesting that you're just a couple of minutes down the road, you're away from all the nuttiness, isn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
When I step into Steve's house, I'm introduced to the family. Christy, his youngest, Kelly, the eldest, and Tani, his wife of 27 years. This is definitely not what I was expecting. Once I've met everyone, Steve goes to get changed, and I have a chat with his girls. I want to know who the real Steve Sinclair is.
But his first attitude isn't to slap somebody straight.
No.
You know, he'll talk it and everything, and they just go that little bit too far.
Of course she's going to say that. She's his wife.
And what's it like for you two with boyfriends?
Basically, they just find out you're Sinclair's daughter, they're like either do a runner or
Really?
a bit scared.
So he's got that reputation.
Telling you that introduce you to the friends is instead of saying, oh, this is my girlfriend Kelly or this is my girlfriend Christy, it's oh, this is my girlfriend Steve Sinclair's daughter.
Oh, okay, he's gone for the casual look.
After a brief chat, Steve's back, and he takes me to see where I'll be spending the night.
Oh, it's lovely. What, I don't know what it's like. It's very, very cottagey, Steve.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's...
Right, cottagey, you know?
The woman's touch, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
nice view of it.
Actually, no Yorkies, not a Yorkie in sight.
Yeah, hold on, what's that? Oh, look.
Oh, no, yeah. I knew there'd be one. I knew there'd be one knocking about. There had to be one. If I play up later, I'll end up in that cupboard, I suppose, will I?
Yeah, it's one of the... I'm a strong believer in the woman runs the home. She has it as she likes it.
Steve's old school. You wouldn't catch him doing the ironing, but he's still house proud.
Who's this? Just a random picture?
Random picture, yeah.
Another Yorkie in here, I noticed. Another Yorkie. Everywhere you turn, Yorkies, look. I like the art you've got going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's dead now, the artist.
I'm loving all this.
Friend of ours, he was good.
What's his name? Lawrence?
Larry Rushton.
Larry Rushton.
Yeah,
Brilliant, isn't it?
Steve's got a few old things, but not the kind of stuff you'll see on the Antiques Roadshow.
Is
It
it?
just pulls out like...
Yeah, I knew it. I knew there'd be something going on. That's a lovely little stick you got there.
Just a little way. You have to slot it in properly.
I know how to slot things in, Steve. I know how to slot things in.
So somebody comes calling.
Oh, okay, so you can keep that at the door, just in case.
Yeah. If anyone comes knocking, I knock back.
Well, they won't be knocking again, will they?
No.
Well, they certainly won't be knocking with their fucking hands. Okay.
Steve's place is a cosy family home, but that hammer by the door really brings back to me his other life outside the house. So far, it's been a strange day for me. As we sit down for dinner, I'm thinking about all I've seen and heard. The beatings, the stabbing, the death threat, the hammer. I'm trying to put on a brave face. Everyone around the table is relaxed, except me. I'm staying in Blackpool with Steve Sinclair, a bouncer not to be messed with. He's been stabbed, beaten and shot at. He's pissed off a lot of people. Now he has a contract out on his life. I'm at his place and I've just had a nice bit of Lancashire hot pot, but I'm getting worried about a possible attack.
No, none of that. Oh, hello, come here. Hello, you ever seen a cockney before? Never seen a cockney, have you?
Say hello to Daddy.
As I'm bonding with Steve's 4 Yorkshire Terriers, he puts on an extraordinary video. I've been told he was fearless, and he proves it by showing me an exhibition boxing match between himself and Sugar Ray Leonard.
I mean, how are you feeling there? Can you remember, Steve? I mean,
Nervous.
Very
nervous, yeah. I was feeling like that. I'm thinking, fucking hell. I'm saying, oh, shit. Best experiences in my life in the sport, like sporting sense, I mean, it ranks up very high with having my daughters and things like that,
At the time, Steve, an amateur boxer, was working as a waiter on the QE2. Sugar Ray was a passenger, and then welterweight boxing champion of the world. Originally, the fight was meant to be a bit of fun. The champ had a recent eye operation, and Steve was warned to be a bit careful. But his competitive spirit got the better of him.
Started increasing my punching power to his body, and I was lifting him off the ground with some shots. Didn't faze him at all. And then he's moved around, bam, and I hit him, got him right in the eye. His head's gone back.
What had originally meant to be a bit of fun suddenly turned nasty when the champ decided to teach the amateur a lesson.
He says to me then, he said, "Are you all right?" I went, "Yeah." He says, "You're not now." 3 shots, same place. Yeah.
He said, "You're all right." You went, "Yeah." And then he fucking hell, what a liberty. How was that shot, Steve? Can you remember the force of that shot?
Every time I watch it, I feel it. Just took my breath away completely. They're lifting me up here. They're saying to me, "Breathe, breathe." I said, "I'm trying."
Proper punch to the rib.
No, it's horrible, isn't it?
Well, listen, what's his number? I'll make a call. I'll make the call.
Steve is willing to take on anyone, but I wonder, is this fearlessness or recklessness? Could this have led to his death threat? And this threat became very real a few weeks ago when someone tried to kick his door in the middle of the night.
There's a geezer there, like that, and he had a hoodie up and all that, and I've shouted, "Fuck you, yo!" And I'm trying to open the door, but it buckled the door, so I couldn't get through.
Your initial reaction is to get out there and fucking do him. On his own? Or
Yeah,
you don't know?
On his own, yeah. On his own. So obviously, to me, the geezer's either carrying something or waiting for me. If I'd have turned the lights on inside, it'd see through the glass. So he might have had a pop, you know.
Good call.
Yeah.
So I would say that anyone's going to come to your fucking door, yeah, it's going to have something back, but they're not going to come with their bare hands, are they?
Right, I've made up my mind.
You know what's really freaked me out is this whole death threat thing, right? For me, it's a massive thing.
Right.
Now, if we to stay here, you know, and I'm sure, and I know nothing will happen, really. I don't know, you never quite know, but you've invited me in your house, you know, you've got a bed upstairs, you've laid it all on for me. But yet it's that letter from the old Bill. It's from the fucking old Bill. Just for my own peace of mind, I'm going to go stay at an hotel, and I'll come back in the morning. Be all right if I come back here and have a bit of breakfast with you, mate?
Of course, yeah.
Is that okay?
About 8 o'clock, something like that.
Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate it, mate.
See you later. I feel bad, but I think I've made the right decision. I think I've learnt a lot about Steve today. I've seen his soft side and had a brief glimpse of the nasty side as well. But the contract on his life has freaked me out. I know it's unlikely anything's going to happen, but it might. And I'm not prepared to take the risk. I'm very glad to be heading to a hotel.
It's not my death threat at the end of the day, it's his death threat. You know? It's not my fucking problem. Why shouldn't I put myself on the front line for it? This might be a selfish thing to say, but that's the reality. End of.
It's the next morning, and I'm going on the door tonight with Steve to see how he operates and why he does it. So I'm up early to get some last-minute advice over breakfast before he goes to work. And sitting in his kitchen, he tells me some of the rules that he lives by.
If you start thinking to yourself, "Oh, fucking hell, I might get hurt or I might end up in hospital," or, you know, it's a case of...
The idea of controlling...
I think, how many of them can I hurt before they hurt me? You know, I mean, one of my tricks used to be years ago, I mean, I'd grip somebody and I'd put their nose in my mouth and break their nose with my teeth. You know, and rather than not bite the nose off, just get it and you hear the gristle go and crack.
Just while I'm eating a bit of bacon as well.
It's not exactly the advice I was looking for. I don't fancy biting someone's nose off.
It does intrigue me to see, you know, what would happen if it does go off with you, and I'm sure that everything about you changes totally.
The eyes change.
New thing, a whole new beast.
They always say to me, the first thing they go, your eyes just change and fucking, you know, like boom, in focus, and that's it.
And once you've gone, you've gone.
Yeah.
This is the thing that I just, you know, I find it really struggle to see it, you know, because I just think you're such a lovely geezer, you know?
Well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully nothing will happen tonight, but, you know, if it does, there's always a possibility.
Of course.
Steve is off to his day job training the next generation of doormen. So I take some time to myself. In Blackpool at this time of year, that's not a problem. Now I need to focus. I'm going on the door later and in disguise so I don't get spotted. I just hope some of Steve's reputation rubs off on me. After all I've heard about Blackpool, I hope it don't kick off. It's time for me to get my head in the game and sort myself out for tonight.
I like the whistle.
Now I've got the suit, I'm heading back to Steve's to get into makeup and finish off my doorman look.
Right. Mug. Right. Been waiting around all day. Tension's building now. Just want to get on the door and I want to experience it. So, you know, the time's come for me to start getting into my disguise.
I've been told it's going to take a couple of hours. I just hope this works. If I'm spotted tonight, I won't be able to work the door and see Steve in action. Simon Jordan, eat your heart out.
You would never think it's me, but I'm meant to be a doorman. Look at me. I look like I should be sitting in a fucking library. I actually look quite clever, I like that. I look like one brainy fucker. I look like someone who's... I look like a right number bod.
Now to see what Steve thinks of the transformation.
I know I look about as intimidating as that cushion, all right? But I'm not meant to really be intimidating. It's just first impressions. What do you reckon? Okay, I'll take that as say no more. Okay.
And then for the serious doorman's kit, stab vest, high vis jacket, and some last-minute advice.
Any tips, anything I should look out for, Steve, tonight?
Yeah, I mean, keep your eyes on me, you know, keep that zipped, because as soon as you open that, people will suss you. But, you know, look as if you're alert, vigilant, you know.
I think with me, they'll think, I'm going to whip a calculator out or something, what do you mean? All right, no, listen, I'm in good hands, sunshine, don't worry, I'm with you.
Now we're in town, the tension is building. It's St George's Day, and tonight, Blackpool might be up for a fight.
It's Thursday night. I mean, I would have thought that the nightlife's pretty lively here anyway, but what sort of crowd we expecting tonight, you think?
Stag parties out, or even your work dues or anything, so.
Yep, you never quite know, do you?
No.
You never know, do you, Steve? I suppose that's what it is.
And that's what I'm worried about. Tonight, anything could happen. But before I hit the door, I want to see if this disguise is going to work.
I've just got to the first place. This is the sort of the test. See if anyone recognises me before we go into the club. So I'm hoping this is going to work without the glasses. I'm just going to keep my fucking mouth shut, keep my head down and walk in the gaff.
After my pool game and meeting all the fans yesterday in the pub, I just hope I haven't blown it. I'm meant to be undercover, but in this luminous gear, I'm not feeling very inconspicuous.
Shit, I've been recognised, bollocks.
Time for a rethink.
Fuck. Shit, it's not working. Really don't know what to do. I need another test, really. I don't know whether because I walked in with the cameras that's made it a bit obvious. I don't know. I just don't want to wear these, but I think I'm going to have to. I mean, I just feel like a twat, mate. Let's try and put these on. Do you know what I mean? I'm a fucking idiot. I think I'm going to have to try them on. I think my worst nightmare is people recognise me, and I don't want that, you know. I think I might just try and walk in a kebab shop, chip shop. Just try it again, see what happens. So I think I'm going to have to go through with it anyway, you know. I really need to experience this whole diamond thing. I want to try and see Steve in action. It's just put me on a bit of a downer, that, because I really thought it was going to work. And, you know, it's a lot of hard work from a lot of people. And as soon as I walk in a booth, it's Danny Dyer, it's Danny Dyer. Fuck me, how's this Danny Dyer? Not Danny Dyer. Well, it is Danny Dyer, but it ain't. Let's go and try another test.
With a hidden camera on me, I step out into the street to give it another go. I really want to experience working on the door, but if this doesn't work, I don't think I really understand what's made Steve so fearless.
Result. That was good. I got away with it.
Staying good in here.
It all seems to be working really well. I'm made up until my producer overhears something.
You hear that?
What?
Danny Dyer's going to be in the syndicate tonight. Did you not hear that?
No.
Now it's obvious that everyone in town knows where I'm going to be tonight, and I can hear people talking about me.
He's been in...
Very interesting. People slagging me off. Very strange.
I felt angry. I'm glad to be back in the car with Steve.
I walked down that alley. Nobody recognised me. I was getting a few funny looks because I looked like a twat, but it was interesting because I heard a couple of geezers slagging me off outside a pub. Saying, Danny Dyer, fuck Danny Dyer, this, that, and the other. Weird feelings. I'm 2 foot away. So now we're going to move on now, and we're going to go to the club now. Now, I also walked past a few birds who were going, I think Danny Dyer's down the syndicate tonight, which freaked me out because I thought, OK, word's got out. But they're not going to be expecting me to be like this, I'm hoping, you know what I mean? So.
I've been knocking around with Blackpool's toughest bouncer for the past couple of days to try and understand what this guy is all about. I'm in disguise so I can spend the night on the doors of one of Blackpool's busiest clubs to experience what it's like being a bouncer. But I've just found out that the whole of Blackpool knows I'm going to be there.
Strange feeling because I just don't know how it's going to go, really. I want everything to pan out nicely. I want to just, you know, just be a shadow, really. Just don't know what's going to happen.
We're out of the car and walking up to the door. Now I'm feeling a bit digi.
It's a big fucking club, isn't it?
The Syndicate is the biggest club in Blackpool and one of the largest in the UK. It holds 4,000 people and has over 40 door staff. With all these people, I just hope there's no trouble tonight. As I head through the cordon, the other doormen don't bat an eyelid.
How are you, lads? All right, so good man, yeah?
I'm relieved. It means I can just concentrate on the job. Once we're on the door, I take a back seat so I can observe Steve. He's looking for troublemakers, drunks, and the underage chancers. As the place starts to get busy, my nerves begin to kick in. Steve's in his element. He's very relaxed. I guess for him, this is very quiet.
What's interesting though, Steve, I mean, do you prefer it quiet like this? I mean, it's easier for it's an easier night, but I think you want to...
Yeah, it's boring.
Boring though, yeah, can imagine.
It's obviously, when you've got nice people coming in, it's great evening. When you've got dickheads after dickheads, it can get to you a bit.
Sometimes you get nights where you have an hour just dickheads coming through the door, just like, oh, it's one of them nights, is it?
If we can weed out the dickheads, as he puts it, then everyone inside will have a good night.
If you're looking after the club, that's what the idea should be. You're looking after the people. You know, if I'm looking after you and somebody comes and twats you and I haven't done my job properly, you know, they've caused a problem for me, so I'll go and cause a problem for them.
How many are you expecting in tonight, lad? Hello, I'm John. I'm looking for maybe around about 12
Steve then pushes me into facing the punters and checking their IDs. This is the front line. If I refuse someone, I imagine it could escalate rather quickly, especially with this mob.
Good looking boy.
Thank you.
So far, it's all working well, and the confidence of the other bouncers is helping me along.
Got my hair cut since then. Yeah. When did you get it?
It's getting busier, and there were some lads at the back that might have spotted me.
I think it's going to come on top here. I just think I'm going to get clocked to see what happens. Yeah.
I was right, and there's 4 of them.
Here's a picture here. You've been caught out, mate. You've been caught out.
They surround me. Thankfully, they're armed with cameras and not bottles.
You don't get a picture if you don't. You go.
And that was nothing. It wasn't even a scuffle. What if those lads had fancied a tear-up? You're a target out here. and the violence can come from anywhere.
One of the worst times, closing time, when they're all kicking out on the streets.
And they're all fucked.
Yeah.
They'll get a bit brave, and someone's been looking at someone's bird, and someone, But then I suppose it's not your job then, is it? You just got to stand there, and everything else, obviously, being a gentleman, if it does come on top, you've done it before, you'll get involved. But actually, you've got to let them do it, haven't you? You can't fight every battle in Blackpool, mate.
At the end of the night, you don't want to be getting locked up or, it's over as far as you're concerned.
Of course. Standing here at the front of the club, I feel exposed. If someone's looking to cause trouble, they know where to find you. A problem Steve knows all too well.
The modern doorman is still a target. I mean, a group of kids will get together, let's go to so-and-so and do the doorman. Because it's a good night out.
I think the strange thing is for Steve is he prefers it busy, he prefers that element of danger, he can't stand it when it's quiet. Speaking to a couple of the other bouncers as well, they're the same, they don't like it quiet, it's boring. They want that element of, it's going to kick off any minute, which surprises me, because I would think it's easy though to just stand there and do fuck all.
It's been a good night, and I've learned a little of what it takes to be a doorman. Fearlessness, confidence, qualities Steve has in abundance.
I'd like to think I've done a good job. Steve, did I do a good job, sweetheart?
If I was still grafting the doors myself when you came to meet him, any chance?
Just about that hair doing that hat though.
I'd have you.
I think, you know what, I've enjoyed spending time with you, Steve. I think you're a fascinating person. I think what's fascinating about you is that I think you could be easily underestimated just because of your manner. The way you are, you've got a face. You're quite an approachable person, and I think that's where people come unstuck with you. I think that I think you made the point about, you've got to be nice first. Be nice first. Keep something back.
I've had a small glimpse of Steve's life. It's an interesting but dangerous one. I came here with a preconceived view on bouncers. I thought they were just thugs who stopped you enjoying yourself. What I've learned is if you've had a good night out, it's because the doormen have done a good job. I never got a chance to see how Steve deals with trouble, which I wish I could have seen. He's a gentleman, but he leaves me in no doubt that he can turn it on when he wants to.
Your family comes first, always have. But I still like to enjoy myself, have a nice time. I'd like to go on holidays, I like to drive a nice car, so, but as it is at the moment, I'm doing it all legally. But, still got the balaclava.